Welcome to the Loyal Opposition Podcast. I'm Bernie Flowers, one of Uncle Sam's wayward sons. I intend to talk about important topics every week in hopes of helping to improve our country and our way of life. I ask that you like, share, and subscribe as we try to grow the channel and defend America's middle class. So, let's get started. Did you know that ABC News has agreed to a court settlement of $15 million directed toward President Trump's presidential library? How come the mainstream media isn't talking about this? According to the settlement, ABC News will pay $15 million as a charitable contribution to Trump's future presidential library. ABC has agreed to pay $1 million towards Trump's legal fees in his lawsuit. ABC agreed to post an editor's note to the bottom of its 10 March 2024 online news article about the story. It will say as follows: ABC News and George Stephanopoulos regret statements regarding President Donald J. Trump made during an interview by George Stephanopoulos with Representative Nancy Mace on ABC's This Week on 10 March 2024. That sounds like an apology to me. Trump sued ABC and Stephanopoulos for libel after Stephanopoulos said on the air that Trump was found liable for the rape of writer E. Jean Carroll. Last year, a jury hearing the civil suit brought by Ms. Carroll found that Trump sexually abused and defamed her, but found also that Trump was not liable for rape. A federal judge in New York later ruled that it was accurate to say that Trump was found liable for rape in common parlance. However, Judge Lewis Kaplan said that the jury concluded that Ms. Carroll had failed to prove that Trump raped her within the narrow technical meaning of the particular section of the New York penal law. Oh, by the way, this supposedly happened in 1995. So, did he rape this lady or did he not? Well, if ABC is willing to settle this libel case, I guess he didn't rape the woman after all. I guess she just plain old lied. Judge Kaplan noted that the definition of rape was far narrower than how rape is commonly defined in modern parlance in some dictionaries and criminal statutes. What this means is that the judge couldn't justify convicting Trump. If they could have, they would have. During the 10 March broadcast, Stephanopoulos asked South Carolina Republican Congresswoman Nancy Mace how could she endorse Trump, being that she was a survivor of sexual assault. The anchor falsely said judges and two separate juries have found him liable for rape. Stephanopoulos repeated the claim 10 times during the broadcast. Remember, this was also during the presidential campaign. Well, it looks like to me, it seems like ABC was showing favoritism. The ABC Trump settlement is being made just 2 weeks before Trump returns to the White House. In addition to the defamation lawsuit, he attacked ABC News over the way that David Muir and Lindsay Davis, the moderators for the September debate, fact-checked him during the event. Trump even called for the network to lose its broadcast license. Now, wouldn't that be something to see ABC lose its ability to broadcast? Well, if they can't perform objective journalism, why should they be allowed to spread gossip and poisonous propaganda? As Trump prepares to take office, several tech companies and their CEOs are trying to get in his good graces. Meta and Amazon are both contributing $1 million apiece to Trump's inaugural fund. On Friday, OpenAI confirmed that they also plan to donate $1 million as well. It sounds like all of Trump's old enemies are getting on board the Trump train. Well, there's more. Trump has also sued CBS for deceptive conduct over their interview with Kamala Harris, where they edited her words to make her look competent. Seems like the sky is falling for ABC, CBS, MSNBC, The View, the mainstream media, and the whole liberal establishment. They're coming apart at the seams. Oh, how the mighty have fallen. Oh, by the way, something else. How come there's so little news coverage about this? I got something else for you. Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau, he faces pressure to resign from his own Liberal Party after his top minister just quit, criticizing his handling of the budget. Trudeau has led the country for nearly a decade, but he has become widely unpopular because he stood by and done nothing about the high cost of living in Canada and also the rising inflation. Rising numbers of lawmakers are calling for Trudeau to resign. With voters so deeply unhappy, Parliament has the authority to try to knock Trudeau's Liberal Party from power by holding a no-confidence vote that would trigger an early election. And if the majority of Parliament votes against his government, Trudeau would then be erased in the election. The walls are closing in on him. But because Liberals don't hold an outright majority in the Parliament, they depend on the support of leftist New Democrat Party to pass legislation and stay in power. But all that support has just about vanished. The New Democratic Party's leader has called on Trudeau to resign, and that clears the way for Parliament to vote no confidence. After Tuesday, the Canadian Parliament will shut down for the holidays until next month, and a vote of no confidence could be scheduled sometime thereafter. The Conservative Party, which has a commanding lead in the polls over the Liberals, has not yet publicly called for Trudeau's resignation. And because of tactics that the Liberal Party can deploy and stop a no-confidence vote, Conservatives might not be able to force one for a couple of months. A vote of no confidence would trigger an immediate election. Now, if Trudeau's Liberal Party survives that no-confidence vote in the coming months, an unlikely scenario, the latest the federal government could hold an election would be around the 20th of October. The odds of having an election that soon have gone up. Some lawmakers expect an election in late spring, unless Trudeau decides to dissolve Parliament and dives into an election before then. With Liberals' grip on the power fading, experts say that the best they can hope for in the next election is to hold Conservatives to a minority government that will be reliant on other parties to pass legislation. The latest Canadian polling, by the way, has Conservatives up by 43 to 23%, suggesting that Conservatives could win a majority of the seats. Of course, as Trump said, Canada could always vote to become America's 51st state. Like I said, oh, how the mighty have fallen. If I don't see you before Christmas, you just have yourself a happy new year and a Merry Christmas, and I wish that for all of you. You take care of yourself, and we'll see you soon. Well, that's about it for now. This has been the Loyal Opposition Podcast, produced in association with Fallback Productions and Veterans for America First. Please like, share, and subscribe as we try to grow the channel and protect America's middle class. Be sure to get your copy of my book, Black Values Matter, available as an ebook on Amazon, Audible, and Apple Books. And also, remember, it's okay to disagree. But if we want our country to prosper, we must insist on unity, transparency, and civility for ourselves and for our fellow citizens. Thanks for listening to the Loyal Opposition Podcast. We'll see you next week.